Hello, learners of English. I'm sending my regards along with my buddy Joe English. And today we'd like to do an ACT English uh, test with you, the English section of the ACT. So we'll be doing some exam questions to help those who prepare for taking the ACT test. So without further ado, let's share one of the exams and start answering some questions together. Okay, so this is one of the previous ACT tests, and this is the English section. Let's have a look at the first passage. Just answer a few questions, and in coming videos, we can continue answering some of the questions together. So just look at the underlined portion right away and then look at the questions and so go for the answer. So he says, anonymous donor left intricately crafted paper sculptures at various cultural institutions, blah, blah, blah. So which choice would most effectively emphasize the complexity? Would we leave it as it is, no change, or impressively, terrifically, superbly? The three B, C, D have the same meaning, which means something great or impressive and so on. However, intricately is the only one that retains the meaning of or emphasizes the meaning of complexity. So the best answer is A, no change. All right, let's go to two. Delighted each sculpture was left. This is a mistake right away because a sculpture, which is an inanimate thing, cannot have a feeling and feel delighted or sad or whatever. So no change is definitely not the answer. Each sculpture was left secretly and later discovered, left secretly, so uh, and later discovered by staff, um, secretly delighted. Each sculpture, of course, J is also wrong because a sculpture cannot be delighted. So the best answer here is G. Each sculpture was left secretly and later discovered by delighted staff. In other words, the staff were the ones who were happy, not the sculpture itself. Okay, let's move to number three. Okay, library staff dubbed it the poet Re. No change or specified, adorned, honored. Actually, to dub something means to name it. So, as if we're saying they named it so and so. So, A is the best answer here. Okay. All right. At Edinburgh's Film House Cinema, a three dimensional sculpt scene shows patrons. Okay, it sounds fine. All right. So, if we look at G and H, cinema, a three-dimensional sculpted and then seen. So we can't put a comma between sculpted and seen. And H, cinema, yeah, there is no comma between cinema and a three-dimensional. And in J, he just puts the commas around sculpted. So G and H and J are not acceptable. So the best answer is 4F. You know about the process of elimination. If you're not sure of one answer, eliminate all the answers you are sure they cannot fit or are not correct. And so you will be left with a couple of choices or even one choice. Then by the broad process of elimination or by eliminating the wrong answers, the ones you know for sure cannot work in that sentence, then you can easily reach the correct answer. Number five, um, sitting in a movie theater as horse sleeps out of. Okay, right away you know that as horse leaps. So there's no definite indefinite article. There's no indefinite article before the before horse. They don't say before or as a horse leaps. So that's a mistake. If that is offered in the answers, it would be correct, or he would give us the plural of horse and say horses, for example. So the best answer is C because it says a movie theater as horses leap. A movie theater as horses leap. This would be the best answer. B is not the best answer because he uses the apostrophe S for possession. And the last one, movie theaters, he uses the possessive S on theaters. So both are not acceptable. Of course, A is not acceptable because the sentence itself is wrong to say as horse leaps without indefinite article A or as. So our best answer is C. How about number six? A dragon crafted from the pages of a mystery novel was found nesting. Okay, so the best answer here is F, no change. There's nothing wrong with saying a dragon crafted from the pages of a mystery novel was found. Remember, if it fits without punctuation, don't complicate it and put any punctuation on it. That's one of the things you should know in the ACT or SAT tests. If a sentence is correct and it doesn't need any punctuation like commas or semicolons, don't bother and don't put any punctuation on that sentence. If we look at number 7 here, he says more creations appeared at more than a few additional places where literature and artifacts are related. So what is the best answer for 7? Okay. If we look at a number of additional cultural blah, 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 quite a lot of uh, other cultural institutions, and then the several libraries and museums devoted to. So they more or less have the same meaning, but D is the shortest answer. You should know that in the ACT or SAT, wordiness is not something that is appreciated. If you um, are brief and to the point, this is something more appreciated than wordiness. So we will go for D as the best answer in that case. Okay, let's continue for number 8. Okay. So he says two books and writing, therefore a total of 10 sculptures were blah, blah, blah bestowed on. Okay, there's no point in using therefore here because it doesn't show cause and effect. But if we look at the answers, of course, however, and then eventually, G. He says eventually a total of 10 sculptures were bestowed. So this mysterious person or artist comes once at a time and puts this sculpture or sculpted icon, whatever, uh, near that library, and then he goes to another library and puts another one. So eventually, the total number becomes 10. So it makes sense. So G is the best answer. How about number 9? Okay. The creator of these sculptures are, the creator are, that's easy. The creator is a singular subject. We should match it with a singular verb. Here, verb is verb to be. We can say are, but the creator are, no. So we should say C. The creator of these sculptures is. Of course, we shouldn't bother about sculptures. Some people, um, you know, get confused if we have something like a prepositional phrase in between the subject and the verb, and if that object of the preposition is plural, and they make the verb plural even if the subject is singular, which is wrong. The verb should follow the subject, agree with the subject of the sentence, not the object of the prepositional phrase. So be careful with these things. Okay. How about number uh, 10. Okay, let's read number 10. He says here, whatever, and then uses colon, whoever created the art. Okay. We should say regardless of who. And instead of saying whatever and then using a colon, it's better if we say regardless of who created the art, your intention is so and so. Okay? So J here is the best answer. J is the best answer. If we go to 11, okay, created the art, your intention is clear. So should we leave it as it is, or we say whose, or her, or out? If we go to the previous sentence and that reads so far, that is, the last gift came with a note in which the mystery artist reveals her gender. So from the previous sentence, we know that the artist turned out to be a woman. And so we should refer back to her using her and not your. It's a pronoun question, you know, refers back to the antecedent. The antecedent is a female, so we should use her. All right, let's move to another question, question 12. What does he say here? Each gift came with a note expressing special gratitude for libraries, books, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then he says no change or note of gratitude expressing special gratefulness. Gratitude and gratefulness is the same, so there's no need for that. Thank you note expressing special thanks. Again, no. Thanks. Thankful note expressing special thanks. So G and H and J repeats the word thankful or grateful, which is wordy. So the best choice is F. Same, no change. We are using the same thing here. How about number 13? If the writer were to delete the preceding sentence, the paragraph would primarily lose a statement that, okay, all right, if we um, delete that sentence, each gift came with a note expressing gratitude for libraries, books, ideas, and so on. So what would the sentence lose here? Suggests the essay writer knows the identity of the artist, explains why the artist created the sculptures, proves the artist is a woman. None of that. The best answer, I think, is B, because he's saying, or she, sorry, this female artist is saying that she's leaving these sculptures near the libraries because she actually appreciates libraries and ideas and books and stuff like that. So it's just a reason why she's doing what she has done. So if we move to 14, exquisite sculptures who destroyed books, cutting them up and so on. Okay, so what is the best answer for 14 here? If we look, okay, who destroyed books or destroyed books, for whom books were destroyed, as she destroyed books, destroyed. Okay, so if we look, these exquisite sculptures destroyed books, cutting them. The creator of these exquisite sculptures destroyed books. So there's no need to use who here. It's not a relative. Uh, it's not a relative clause to start with who. Just saying that the creator of these whatever sculptures destroyed books. Okay, because he used them in a way, cutting them with refashioning, blah blah blah. So the best answer is J. It's just a subject and a verb. We don't need a relative clause in that sentence. How about number 15? Number 15 here, uh, okay, up with refashioning them, or, okay, so cutting them up with refashioning them. We should say and. So cutting and refashioning. This is ing and then a coordinating conjunction and then another ing. It's just parallelism, cutting and refashioning. So B is the best answer. So it's easy, it's not difficult. All you need to do on the ACT or SAT exam is to focus, pay attention to the time, because you don't have a lot of time. In the ACT, you almost have half a minute for each question, because you have to answer 75 questions in the English section test in 45 minutes. My advice to you is to stay calm. If you miss one of the questions, go ahead and continue with the other questions. Leave the time consuming questions to the end, and you have to answer all the questions. If you don't have time by the end of the test, you have just to make a choice whether the first or second or third or fourth option, but don't leave a question unanswered, because even if you chose any answer, it might be correct, and you, in this case, would gain the mark for that. So good luck with your ACT, and remember, the best way to go about answering any test is to stay calm, pay attention to your time, and don't get affected negatively if some questions you are not sure about. That's the normal thing for any test taker, but the whole thing depends on your, let's say, emotional stability. And if you are emotionally stable and calm, in simpler words, then you'll do very well in the ACT. So best of luck for people who will set for the SAT or ACT tests, and I'll see you in the coming one. Thank you very much.